everyone, Kareem right here, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Marco Milanese, a professional soccer player at Union Omaha. Marco, did I pronounce the last name good?
Yes, good enough, good enough.
Thank you. How's it going, Marco?
Good, great, actually great. As you might know, we just won the regular season with Union Omaha. So we are enjoying some days off. The coach allowed us to have like 2, 3 days off after the win. And no, really great. Everything is going great right now.
Congratulations on that. So you guys are moving
Thank you.
on, but before we get into that, I want you to take us back in time and just share how you got involved in the beautiful game.
Sure. I got involved because my father was a professional football player back in Italy. We're talking about the 80s, so a little bit far back, but he was a professional goalkeeper for Benevento. I don't know if you know, he's an Italian team. I think right now he's in second division right now, if I'm not wrong. But he was basically my guide since I was 5 years old. So, he got me into it. I used to watch him in TV, and I always wanted to be like him a little bit. So he got me started. He never wanted to be also my coach officially, because after that he was also a coach for my local team, basically. But he never wanted to me officially is one of his player. So I have to say I had other mentors growing up, so other very good coaches that got me like really into thinking that I could become a professional soccer player. Because when your father says, it's always some kind of like, yes, but it's my father, but when the other coaches started saying that you could make it, he gets to believe in it a little bit more. So I have to say I had another good coach. His name was Giuseppe Troiano. And yes, I think these two are the main figures. That's why I got involved into soccer.
That's pretty cool. Not a lot of people get to grow up and watch their dad play professional soccer on the TV, so that's super cool.
Yeah,
And then
super cool, super cool.
Italy is really small, right? Italy's not a very big country, but
Yeah,
it's football, they don't call it soccer over there, like the US.
yeah.
Football is one of the most popular sports down there. So, growing up and playing in Italy, how has that helped you develop as a player to then where you are now in the US, playing what we call soccer in the US?
Let's call it soccer. Let's call it soccer, so it's easy. I so basically, as you said, like even if we don't have like enormous population, like I think we are like around 60 million people in Italy. It's still like the most famous sport in the nation. So since you are young, I would say, right now, mostly like every young kid, which either if you're a guy or for a girl, but you start to playing soccer. But when I was like back in the time when I was young, it was like every little kid usually like gets involved in soccer. So like it's what they want to do, it's what they do outside school. Basically, when I was young, like as soon as I finished school, I would go in the park and play with my friends. And it's basically what I did 24 hours. I always had a ball on my feet in the house, which my mom was not happy about it. But yes, I'd say that because of our culture, like it's always like a sport that since you're a kid, especially if you're a boy, I would say your father or like I don't know, maybe you want a member of your family, maybe supports a team, and like you want to go watch the game with him, so you get involved, in it's basically, as we say in Italy, it's almost a religion. So Sunday is like you go to you go to church, and then after that you're watching a soccer game. So that's the most important part of the day.
For sure. So you said soccer is a part of the religion, which I got to experience for the first time in England. So I got to see that from the first time. I'm from Canada. So would you say that being in the US that you see that same culture here, or it's a bit different?
I have to say it's a bit different. Okay, like for sure, you have the influence. I would say the comparison that I always do it's like football here. Like the American football. So since you're a little kid, most of like the kids want to play football here. Like most of the kids, I would say, which is normal because there is Sunday football. Like there is a big cultures around the sport, and that's why maybe I would say it's a little bit different. But I have to say that since I came here, it was 5 years ago now. The thing is changing. I see a lot of more kids involved in soccer, and yeah, like basically, I would say also with the World Cup now in 2026 or 2020, I don't know when the 2026 the World Cup, right?
2026. Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna come to US. It's gonna be huge, and then I would see we're gonna see a huge change probably because more kids are gonna get involved with. Also, the national team is getting better, the US national team, so that's gonna help to change a little bit, But I would say that it's still right now there is like this big influence of football, American football. So it would be the hardest to overcome.
absolutely. Playing for Union Omaha, what does a typical day look like for you during the soccer season in terms of training, preparation, and match days?
Okay. I mean, so normal days, so I would say practice day, we woke up pretty early, like around 6:40. I usually wake up because because our season is over the summer and the temperature is very high. Our coach prefers to practice at 9 a.m. So we wake up pretty early. I wake up usually around 6:40. I have breakfast, go to the field, and usually I would say an hour before our meeting. So our meeting usually would be at 8:30 in the morning, so 30 minutes before practice. And I would go there a little bit early to do. I always do foam rolling, to prepare the first 10 minutes my muscles from the a night in bed usually like is like you stay still for 10, 11 hours, 9, 10 hours, which is I mean it's good for recovery, but muscle wise it's not really great, so you need to get used to it. And then after that I do some biking, like just 10 minutes to prepare it for the practice. Then we have a quick meeting with the coach talking about the performance. Maybe if is after a game, we usually talk about the performance of the team. If it's during a midweek, I would say we talk about maybe our next opponent. So what we're gonna do in practice and like how we're gonna prepare for the opponent. Then we practice from I would say 9 to 11:30. Usually 9 to 11, 2 hours max. And after that, we have lunch at the facility with the team. And after that, that's one of the I would say privilege of being a professional soccer player is that the afternoon is usually free. So like I still try to because so I'm international, so I could not have any other type of job besides soccer. So what I do is I'm studying, keep studying. I'm doing some classes online to improve my knowledge. I graduated in finance, so I still take some classes online just to improve my knowledge, and also hang out with other teammates. Depends. In the afternoon, it's pretty free.
Absolutely. Are you doing online classes?
Yes, online classes, but do you know Coursera? It's kind of
No.
like it's basically like a platform online which you pay monthly, and they offer you basically online classes from college all over the world, and after that they give you like um I would say after you finish the class or the course, whatever it is, you get like a diploma. Basically, you could add to your resume. And I did that because I didn't want to get maybe pursue a master right now because I just finished school, so I wanted to enjoy a little bit not to stress too much about it, the school, and try to focus more on soccer now that I have the possibility to do it. So yeah, that's basically what I do in the afternoon, study.
Nice. And I don't think a lot of players that haven't went pro yet under have obviously they don't have the experience, but like once you became a professional soccer player yourself, did you know that you had so much free time after you were done working? Like in the evenings are always free for you, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it depends if we do, sometimes time to time we have like some appearances, you gotta do with the team, but nothing too, um, I would say, not worrisome. I would say like make you busy, just once every maybe 2 3 weeks. So like it's not gonna be. No, no. I knew because I mean in Italy, when you playing for a professional team, usually and you do that for a job, that's what you do, like that's why like um I would say like many players find that kind of like as a consequence, being a professional, because if you don't have like a good group of friends, or like you don't enjoy being with your teammates, this can cause some lonely time, and you're like all this afternoon, what are you gonna do, what you're not gonna do. So that's why like I always trying to keep myself busy somehow. And no, I knew it because yeah, in Italy basically like because there is not really a good connection between school and soccer. Most of the guys, they completely abandon school to pursue a professional soccer, so like they don't really have anything else out of that. And that what I really like about US, no. So like that's why I choose to came here and go to college, because I had the chance, to still play at high level and to pursue a degree, which is great. Learn a language and then other positive facts. But honestly, what I like is they always now I have this mindset. No, I try to keep myself busy, engaged in other activities, also non-soccer related. So yeah, but I would expect it, like I was expecting this. Yes, for sure.
Those are great points. Would you advise other players that are graduating from high school and about to go off to college or university, or want to focus specifically what you mentioned, just wanting to go become a professional soccer player? Would you advise them to pursue school and soccer, or just what would be the best advice that you'd give them?
No, for sure. So that's a big decision, no, and would come. I would say it comes down also to the person that you are, and also the influence that you have. Because for me, I would say also my parents had a bit of influence on that. To stay in school, basically. But I would say yes, for sure, there has to be an important decision if you decide to just pursue soccer and to abandon school. You need to know that like also like the thing that they say, yeah, I would pursue soccer right now and then I would go back to school. That's very hard. Like it's very very hard that after you finish your career you're gonna go back to school. And I don't know. I don't know if it's the best idea. What I could say, if you want to play professionally and not go to college, there's like I know USA League One, the League One I am at. They offer scholarship and they partnership with the Bellevue University, and so they offer these programs where it's online, so you have still want to be at home, and you can be at home and study, and it's not a lot of work. You can organize yourself. So for sure, I would advise any young player to stay in school because the career of soccer is very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. You never know when you're gonna stop because of injuries, because of other problematics. So for sure, I would advise any young player to stay in school, and like even if you don't like to go to school, try to do some classes. Like once a day, or like one class, 1 or 2 class every semester, not to keep you stressful, but at least you're doing something, for sure.
Absolutely. In the competitive world of professional soccer, how do you stay motivated and maintain a high level of performance throughout the season?
That's a good question. How do you do it? It's for sure by sorry, once send me a call. Sorry. How do you do it? That's one of the main challenges, I would say, as a player, to stay engaged mentally more than physically, you know. Also because you could play every game, but you know, like, and sometimes the performance, like, there's a problem that I had before. I would say when I was younger, to stay always focused 100% throughout all the season. You know, I remember when I was young, I would have like 3 good games and then one really bad one, which is not great. You know, I would say that's what makes the difference when you're a professional. You can afford yourself to have this kind of, you know, up and down. You need to stay focused throughout all the way. And what I do is I give myself goals. Which can be, I usually do, I don't want to say, I'm not really like a guy that sets a goal every day. I don't want to say that because I'm not, but, you know, set a goal for yourself, especially if you're starting, you know, if you're giving a starting position where you can actually have some data on your hand. I try to keep myself goals, I don't know, like clean sheets, for example, in like, but not a long span of games, you know, like 3 or 5 games. Okay, so like it's like a monthly goal maybe. So like after you see that, and but there are also like the sheet is one of the. I also do like more personal, you know, because I would say clean sheet doesn't only count on you, but some other factors. So what I do is, I don't know, 80% tackles success rate, or like passing rate successful, you know, all this type of mini goal that I can give myself. And if you, it's honestly like a really good way to keep yourself engaged mentally, you know, because you want to get that when you sit on the board every morning. I have like a board in my room, like you see them every day, like get there, or like, I don't know, like get to this goal, and you see maybe if you don't succeed the first month, then you have extra motivation for next month, you know. So that's what I do personally. I don't know if can apply to every player, but it's always like setting yourself goal and trying to achieve it. Also, because honestly, every time that I set myself a goal, then I always achieve it. That's the thing. So it has to be like a connection to it, you know. So, and it keeps you also like, it makes you yourself like feeling better, you know, feeling like you're doing something, even if you're not seeing it.
And that's important to keep track. What you're doing is also keeping track of it, so you know if you're reaching your goal or not, and it keeps you motivated. So you know that's also a good point as well. What
Yeah.
what position do you play, and what specific skills and attributes do you believe are essential for success in that role?
Okay. Very good question. I like them. It's not an easy question, so you can answer. I love it. So I am personally, I'm a center back, but I can play also left back, and that's also because I'm not really, I would say, stereotype center back. I'm not really big, like, you know, big, strong. I'm more like an average height. I'm 6 feet, you know, so like average height, not too small but not too tall. And so it depends. I would say, as center back, which is my first position, primary position, I would say. What I have that he helped me get through the, you know, get noticed by coaches is my, I would say, for sure, leadership, which is not really a skill. I would say not like a technical skill, okay, but it's another important skill you need to have if you want to play in that position, because you're in charge of moving the whole team. You know, when you pressing, or when you have to organize while you're attacking. You know, you always have to talk and keep your teammates engaged. You know, that's for sure like one of my main skill that I have, I would say. And another thing, more technical wise, is that especially in the modern football, in modern soccer, sorry, you need to have like as a center back, you need to be able to manage the ball. Especially if you're playing in a team that is possession based, which I have been through like since my probably like my whole career. I always trying to choose teams that they're like more possession based, so they can enhance my characteristics. And yeah, I would say like I'm a very good, not very good, but like I can build up build from the back. So that's a characteristic that coaches like right now as a center back, and you need to be able to do it. Actually, right now even the keeper has to be able to do it. So it's a characteristic you need to have. And I would say also like because I am not as big, I compensate myself by maybe a little bit quicker. So like um, especially like when there are teams, and in college you see a lot of them, they put just the ball in behind, and they want to run. It's actually like having like fast center backs is a good way to avoid that, avoid that kind of like danger.
Could you share some insights into the challenges and sacrifices you've had to make to reach your current level in professional soccer?
Yes, sacrifices a lot.
Yeah.
Sacrifices is like the main thing you need to do if you want to become a professional soccer player, And I actually saw a video recently on social media of I think it was a girl. This girl, it was like a track runner, and it's like so when most of the guys at your age, they want to go out, or like they want to I don't know, have fun, and you are in your house, not going to parties, not celebrating something because you need to have a game the next day or something else, or maybe you have to practice. These are sacrifices that are never coming back, because you only want you're a teenager only once, so you're never coming back. But at the same time, is what make you get over a lot of people. They want to do the soccer players, no, they want to be a professional soccer players. But why not as many they become is because most of these guys, normal guys, they're not willing to take the extra step on work the extra hour, or like make some sacrifice that gives you the edge. And that's why like not everyone, because I had also friends in the past, teammates, that they were like 10 times better than me, and they didn't make it because they didn't have this, and they didn't have the passion. Because I think at the end it's about passion, like what are you passionate about? You're passionate about, you want to become a professional soccer player, then you need to make sacrifices. It's only that's the connection. There's no escape, no shortcuts.
Yeah, that's an amazing point, Marco. Passion, focus, discipline. That point that you just mentioned there, that there was players before that were better than you, but because you had passion, determination, discipline, and all these other things that they didn't have, you were able to make it. And
Yes.
that's why I love interviewing professional soccer players like yourself that can share these amazing stories and share with the next generation. This is what it takes to become a pro. So this was a great time. Marco, I know this was short. I wish we could spend more time.
I
But
know.
I could have you back on next time, or when the season's done, and talk more footy.
For sure. Whenever you want, we can spend hours talking, no problem.
For sure. Marco,
Okay.
I'd like to take the time to thank you for taking the time on the One Soccer Nation podcast today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and good luck for the rest, okay?
Thank you, Marco.
Bye.